Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the Roguecast. With me today, just the same as last week, we have Kevin from
Howdy.
RogueDeckBuilder.com and GatheringMatch.com. Welcome back, Kevin.
Hi there.
And a guest who was supposed to be on, but he couldn't make it in the last minute, the artist formerly known as New Law Student and the new MTGLion, Tony.
Hey guys,
Welcome, Tony. I hope you enjoy your stay.
I hope so too.
All right, so this weekend, of course, the big news, the release of, well, the pre-release of Born of the Gods. I couldn't make it to the pre-release, unfortunately, so I'm hoping you guys can delight me with some stories.
Mm.
Um, Tony, I know you gotta go sooner, go a little early, so why don't you start us off with some stories?
So I went to a midnight pre-release, which is a very big pre-release. That tends to be the biggest, and then Saturday is the next big. I went to midnight. I went to Sunday. I played almost like then midnight was blue-white heroics. I finished. I had to buy the first round. Then I went 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. So I had the top seed. I didn't lose a single game. And then we did top eight, and I got knocked out by the eight seed, which like was the only one of the eventual final two. I beat both of them, so it was kind of like very salty after that. It's like, well, I mean, eventually I offered to buy the box from them, so I did get the box I wanted. So I actually got two boxes that night, which is all I really cared about. But it was very, I didn't lose a single game, and then the final top eight happened, and I lose 1-2 against the eight seed, who was like a casual player. Like I don't know what happened. Like I'm still trying to like, think about what happened, but I can't. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like I had pretty good draws like two of the games, and I don't know. I have no idea what happened. And Sunday obviously was more casual players, so I did end up winning that one and then buying everyone's packs to get another box. So overall, pretty fun time. What about you, Kevin?
Yeah, I had a good time. Midnight, I did okay. Went 4-2. I ended up going blue as my color. I would have preferred to go any other color besides blue, actually. But at the store that I was at, we were having a hard time finding players that wanted blue. So I went blue. Ended up not going blue. Ended up going red, white heroics. Got a two Titan strengths and a fabled hero. So that kind of solidified my colors right there. And did pretty well, but my deck was kind of a one-trick pony. I had removal, but it was all in white. I didn't get any red removal, and the white removal was kind of awkward through, I think, two Divine Verdicts and two of the XL target tap creature, but it's sorcery speed, and so it takes a while before you can actually. I mean, they can still swing in for one turn before you can still exile that card. So I mean, it was a fun deck though. I swinging for 16 damage with a Fabled Hero is pretty fun just to win games out of nowhere. But had a good time. I'm really liking, as far as the limited appeal of Born of the Gods, I think it meshes really well with Theros. So
What do you think about the like the draft? I'm a little cautious about draft because it is two packs and one pack, right? So
it's
it's
usually,
kind of strange.
how are they going to do it? Are they going to do two packs of Born of the Gods, one Theros? Because usually it's two
I
Theros,
thought it was the
one
other way around. I thought it was the other way around, kind of like Darkest Sentinel.
tradition. It's always been with it. So I'm thinking. I mean, that's how it strategy engine. Yeah, that NASCAR's very influence was too soon. And I can yeah. Looking through. I mean, we drafted a ton for all the people that won packs. I mean, draft on Saturday night, and when we triple drafted, Born with a lot of spells and not very many creatures is what I noticed, and that's kind of the opposite with Theros. I mean, Theros, you have a lot of heroic guys, but not a lot of ways to really enable the heroics, and Born of the Gods is kind of opposite.
Yeah, I haven't really drafted the set, so I'm kind of excited because it does look, at least in Sealed, it looks pretty fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of combat tricks, and that's the type of magic I
Yeah,
like.
it's good for better players. Like better players are going to enjoy the set
Yeah,
more than there's fewer bombs, I guess, or the bombs themselves you can use combat tricks to kind of get your way out of it.
yeah.
Nice.
There's lots of answers for gods in Born of the Gods. You've got the revoke
Yeah,
existence.
revoking existence. I didn't pull a single revoking existence all weekend. That was like crazy. Pretty crazy. I didn't pull a single one of those. And I ran into gods all the time too.
Really? The new ones, the dual
Yeah,
color.
because I'm telling you, like these packs are seeded like crazy. They're like absolutely seeded. Like that, you're more likely to get a god from like this weekend than you are if you buy like a box or something next weekend.
Pretty crazy. I mean, I don't think the new gods. Well, I mean, Xenagos might be good, and Mogus, but the other ones
I
seem a
think
little
Xenagos is a trap. Xenagos is a trap. He looks good, but I feel like he's not going to play good.
yeah,
Mogus, that's the one that I want to put money into.
yeah. I think Mogus might be the better one. Um, I just don't like I just don't like anything that makes you overextend. You know, because you're just a supreme furthest away from losing everything. It just I don't know, especially the blue-white one. Blue-white does not want to overextend.
For devotion, you're going to naturally want to extend anyway, because that means you have void presence. You know, that's never something bad. If you have 7 devotion on the table, I don't think you can ever be prepared for that. Especially that's why Mogus makes the most sense, because you're aggro, so by definition, you should have all your creatures on the field at that point in time.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think people are overlooking Mogus. I tend to look at Mogus more of as an assemblable legion rather than actual beater creature, because I think that's where Mogus fits the best, is in more of a black-red control, and then you just get 2 damage in per turn, and then it's always threatening. It's always there to hit for 7 if you can get devotion active. That's the deck I'm going to try to build anyway with Mogus. I think there's better 4-drops if you're just a black-red aggro deck.
I've been looking to build a Rakdos control deck ever since Return to Ravnica, basically. But there was always something missing. Maybe now with Mogus, we have that.
Well, I don't think Mogus will be a 4 just because he's legendary. So, I think Rakdos does need some more help outside of Mogus, and I don't know what that would be. I don't know if that's actually in Born of Gods.
Yeah, maybe not yet, but it does help a lot. You know, maybe make it a 2 of in the deck, but I don't know. There has to be a way to make Rakdos control a thing. Kevin, you're up.
Yeah,
Make it happen.
I don't know. I actually like the black or the blue-white god after seeing it in action, and but then again, it's one of those decks that most of the blue-white decks right now aren't creature-based. They're usually like there's UI control right now, and there's Esper control, and you have kind of the Esper mid-range, and I don't think the god really. I mean, it might get tough out of the standard that you will see that god, but in watching it in the pre-release, that's some pretty good card advantage that you get from and it's an indestructible form of card advantage. Kind of reminds me of the Thassa Scry, where even if Thassa isn't active, you're still getting that Scry per turn, and the same thing with this god. You're still getting card advantage every time you cast a creature.
Yeah.
Well, at least one per turn. And
I
there's
have a
other
really
ways.
I got a really good question for Kevin. So, have you read recently about like Travis Wu spiking prices of cards, like his rogue decks?
He's got a lot of fans. I know that. I know when he did a gutter snipe build, gutter snipe.
What's take on that? Like, cause you are a rogue deck builder, and he's kind of too. And
yeah. It's so weird.
Final fan.
So.
Would you do it?
I tried to watch his podcast.
I'm saying?
Did you lose me here?
No, no.
No, no,
Okay,
not
sorry.
yet.
So what was the question?
The question is, so there's been some discussion about like Travis Wu being able to spike the price based on his rogue decks, right? But he, I don't know. The question is, if you ever got that popular where you can kind of spike a card's price, would you ethically be okay with buying the card first, because you already know what it is, in paper or digital format, and then spiking the price?
Hey,
That's what we talked about.
that's just like sponsoring a hockey stick. That's playing or playing a certain basketball shoe. I'm definitely fine with that. If I ever become popular enough, you bet I'll be. If I know a deck is good enough, yeah, I'll buy them all out before I release that.
Look at honest, right? Look at just
Yeah, I used to play a lot when I was in an urban area, but now that I'm in a rural area, it's really hard. I mean, I don't like to buy online just because of the time it takes to receive the cards and then ship the cards. I used to sell on TCG quite a bit, but the cuts, that 8% cut is huge, and same with eBay. It just really cuts into your profit margins and whatnot. So when I was in an urban area, I speculated a ton. I mean, my greatest speculation was Hellrider. When I at least had 50 Hellriders at, like, I think I got them for under $1, and then got out of them at 12. And so it was the reason why I was able to get back into Magic 2, because I don't know if I've told this story before. All my cards were stolen. I had them all in my car. I was going to sell all my cards actually, and someone broke my windshield and stole all my cards, about $8,000 worth of cards.
That
and then I was.
That happened to our friend Zemet recently. So.
Yeah, the worst thing about like my collection, I'm sure it ended up in the trash. Like, it was in front of my house, which wasn't the greatest area to begin with, and I'm sure if they would have sold them, I would have found out about it, because there was a lot of like really unique cards in that. I mean, a lot of legacy playable, like legacy staples, like judge foils, things like that were easily identifiable, and like altered cards and things like that. So I never saw any of them in the Salt Lake area. So I'm sure they just.
How do you recover from that? Like, it seems kind of like almost crazy, right? You have all this money in Magic cards. You must feel like very bad about it. And I'm thinking what Zemic's feeling right now, and like what you were feeling back then. Like, why would you return to a game? Like, I've had like stuff stolen, but not on, not to the extent my like entire collection was stolen. And I have sold my collection before, but always in the kind of positive, hey, I made at least a little bit of money here. But if I had my collection stolen like completely, I'm not sure I would, be that interested in the game, or even. I'm pretty sure, knowing me, I wouldn't come back.
Well, it sucked a lot out of me. It did. I quit for like 4.5 months, I think, is when and then I think I decided that I wasn't let someone else ruin. I like the game. It's more of just like the collecting side's fun. The actual having the value is nice and whatnot, but I like the game. And back like years ago, I didn't even have cards. I used to be just a complete limited player. And so as soon as I get cards, I just trade them back in anyway. So I just decided to go back to my limited roots. And I got pretty lucky. Like the first draft that I went back, I think I drafted like an Elish Norn, which was one of the more expensive cards that was in my original green-white deck. And then I forked out like $50, made a budget deck, and I won like 4 F&Ms in a row. And Lingering Souls was the promo, and it was selling for $12 at the time. That F&M.
The foil one, yeah.
And then I was able to get like my entire deck back just from those F&M winnings. And then I just, if it would have happened earlier on in my life when I hadn't, like, I don't want to sound emo here or whiny or whatnot, but I've had some setbacks in my life before. And so this setback actually wasn't near as bad as some other setbacks in life. So, I mean, if I was the giving up type of person, then I would have given up on life a lot sooner than just having, $1,000 worth of cards. So I just didn't want anyone else to, ruin my fun for Magic. I'm glad I stuck with it. Yeah. And it was kind of fun to start over again. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. I mean, losing $8,000 is losing $8,000, but it was kind of like resetting the whole Magic experience, where I have to be really, really frugal on my trades and whatnot. But it was but going back to Hellriders, I was able to spec on those Hellriders, and yeah, just that helped me get back into Magic a lot, going from $1 to $12. That's a huge margin. And
Do you
Hell
have
Riders
a
were
do you have a blue ticket yet, or are you still trying to get a blue ticket right now, Kevin?
a what?
A blue ticket, like for the Pro Tour
Oh,
on
I need.
Spain.
I've only been to one PTQ. I did miserable at it. Um, I don't know. I was expecting Esper Control to be every. I win, and I'm like, yes, all right, this is gonna be my day. And then the deck did not cooperate from then on out, and didn't see Esper Control again. So, but anyway,
I think,
I'm definitely gonna be practicing a lot for this next PTQ. I think this one
yeah.
is definitely in my favor as a deck builder, as it will only be 2 weeks. It's not this week, but the next week's the PTQ, and so Born of the Gods will just be brand new, and I'm thinking it's gonna be in my advantage. Just I'm good with playing untested decks and whatnot, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, I was going to say it's in Spain, so actually, one of the people I play with, Hai Bing Wu, or Hai Bing, something like that. He recently got the one in San Antonio, and I always wanted to know what it covers. Apparently, it only covers airfare.
Yeah, it's just airfare. Yep.
So I assumed it covered hotel and meals. But
No, it was pretty funny. I was actually gonna go to couchsurfing.com and just couch surf in San Diego, but then I got picked up by Gathering Magic, and they actually paid for all the hotel rooms, and that was awesome because hotels in San Diego is very expensive. I was looking at it, and so
yeah, exactly. Like these places are like really popular places to visit, like Spain, Paris, right? So yeah, it's nice that you had a plane ticket, but you're still looking at hotel for like 4 days, let's say if it's international, and you're still looking at meals.
With mine, it was they probably spent the least on me. I was probably their cheapest Pro Tour competitor because Salt Lake to San Diego is probably about a 10-hour drive, and I think the cutoff is about 6. If you're under 6 hours, they just give you like gas money. They don't even buy you a plane ticket.
Oh, they just give you gas money, really?
You're within like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
wow.
Me, they did a plane ticket, but the plane ticket was only $240 round trip. So, I mean, I was probably their cheapest.
That sounds like a terrible, like, I don't know. I don't want to sound like, I'm not Wizards' greatest fan, right? But it sounds like everyone should at least get like a stipend, And then how you want to spend the stipend should be up to you, not like, hey, you live right next to the PTQ place, right? So let me just give you gas. Like, if it was gas money, I would have been kind of offended, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I think they give it's like I said, I think it's a couple $100 if you're in that 6-hour range. I'm not sure how it all works, but yeah, I've got a little bit of beef with Wizards. I think they really should step up their pro scene. I know Brian Kibler's already done articles on this as well, but I think I really think they need, like, I used to play like professional poker as well, and just the prize payout for that kind of stuff. This PTQ I just went to, there was 220 people, and again, the person that won is going to get a plane ticket to Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta's like that's a cheap plane ticket because it's a huge destination for all flights, basically. All international flights go through Atlanta, so I'm sure from this one was in Fort Collins, so I'm sure Denver to Atlanta is not a very expensive round trip. But I mean, out of 225 people all paying, how much was it? $25? I mean, that's over $5,000 in just the entry fees. And I know the majority of it goes to Wizards for the PTQs, and then like I don't know how much it is. They did give out quite a bit of prize support, but still, that's kind of like the stores usually spice the pot anyway, just to give people a good experience and get people coming back. So yeah,
but like when I just heard it was a ticket, and then like Hyping was like, oh hey, I need to live in a hostel, and I was like, well, first of all, he said that he was going to get like a hostel, right? And I was like, why? Like, Wizards didn't like provide anywhere better for you to stay? And he's like, oh no, Wizards doesn't provide for us to stay. I was like, did they give you a ticket to a country, right, that you don't have a place to stay at, and you yourself have to find it, like in Spain, you have to go online and find a place. I just find that very I mean, it would be like, hey, here's a job interview. We're going to give you your plane ticket, but we're not going to cover
Yeah.
your hotel, right? It's like, well, you do want to go to the job interview, but at the same time, you're just like, come on now, right? Why did you not cover my hotel? Thank you for the plane ticket, but
I think at gold and platinum level they start to compensate for that sort of stuff. But no, platinum level gets a hotel and like
well,
actually get
platinum is like, how many people is that? Is that like 20 people or something? Something
is
like,
it 20?
I
Yeah,
think
maybe
it's something
so.
very small.
Yeah, it is pretty small. I know that. In comparison, now I don't know what is the figure of Magic players. I've heard 12 million is the latest figure.
That sounds high. That sounds kind of
Yeah,
high.
well, I know in Zendikar it was only around 2 million.
Because there's
Yeah.
only 300 million in the U.S. Just to give us like a general range. I know there's international players, so like that would be saying that 4% of the U.S. plays Magic.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, if you look at like you go on like Dota at any given time, there's 600,000 people playing on Dota, and so you got to think of all the casual players. And well, what I read was this is DCI number active DCI numbers was 12 million, and
Well,
it's just
I have like 7 DCIs because I always forget my
yeah.
number.
Like,
So I'm active in the database 7 times under the same name.
that's how I was until Wizards called me and made me merge them.
Oh yeah, because you're like you play more in tournament, higher level stuff. I'm more of like, hey, I need a new DCI for my FNM. Like, so if everyone's like me and they have like 7 or 8 accounts, then that really reduces.
I don't know how,
the
I'll have to find that article because it was Hasbro that I think put out the numbers. I'm not sure though, but I mean it's grown a lot. I know that. So I mean they could expand the platinum base and the
I think the movie in 2016, if it's like even decent, that should expand it like huge.
yeah.
Like it's huge. They have a movie like 2000. I mean 2016. I guess like they can hype it up a little bit, but I feel like that will definitely bring in a lot of the vampire crowd. A lot of those golf kids.
Magic's starting to get more mainstream too. Like I noticed our local game store there is the cooler kids. We'll put it that way. Have I know I'm in a very rural town where there's nothing to do, but we've got like I said the cooler kids at high school are playing. And when I lived in Salt Lake, the place I played at was like Nerd Central. I mean, it was
No, yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say, Kevin. Is when I played and when I used to play at the official Wizards store. Like Wizards of the Coast used to have its own store in the mall, like where I live in Pennsylvania. So I used to play at the official store, and the people like who would also the classmates you would see playing the game, right? They were definitely not the coolest kids.
yeah.
To be like kind to them, and I honestly caught the game. I played it like when I was a little kid, like really, really time. Like I played it. I remember 2 good events was my beta booster pack, and then also buying Urza Saga when Pokemon first came out. So they came out at the same time, and then somebody bought me Magic instead of Pokemon for my birthday that year. And the Magic set was Urza Saga. So I remember like pulling some out of that. But typically, my friends who have played Magic who were my age, they were probably the nerds of high school. Kept Magic kind of a long time.
Did you guys lose me?
No, I got you.
Okay.
You guys want
We
to
lose
talk
Tony?
about the
Oh, he's
Uh,
back.
Oh, we
I think we had lost him for a second there. Tony?
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, we
I
can hear you now.
Yeah. You were gone for like 10 seconds or so. Are you gone again?
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, that's weird. some commander card. I forget what it's called. It's from a set called Conspiracy. I don't know if you came up with that name, but that set is called right now. What do you think about that card, and do you believe it's real?
So you're seeing what do they call it? The one that was it's been open like 3 different places, hasn't it?
Really, it has. It's like
I heard it was open in the Philippines. I heard it was open in London. I heard it was open in the United States.
Do you think that Wizards intentionally does that? Or like it seems like a lot of their products get like misplaced, and it feels like a strange place to put it, right?
Well, no, they've done this before. They did this with Rootborn Defenses. They put Rootborn Defenses in Dark Ascension pre-release.
Yeah, but you think they or is it a mistake?
You're breaking up bad.
Yeah. Tony? Kevin?
Can you guys hear me still or no?
Yeah, now I can hear you. But now we lost.
Okay, yeah. Sorry for breaking up that. I don't know. My connection says it is fine. So, I guess my question was, do you feel like Wizards intentionally does that, like puts new cards?
Oh yeah. Well, if you look at like Mark Rosenwater's tweet about like someone asked him about it, and he's like, nope, we don't. That card's not in Born of the Gods. I just instead of answering if it was like a fraud card that you think that Wizards would say, no, this card's fake. But I mean, it does look. I think it's going to be another like. I don't know if it's quite an unglued type set. I think it's actually going to be more of like a group hug type set to where, I'm thinking more of maybe a multiplayer draft type set because the other card that was spoiled. Have you looked at that one? Like the crypt.
That one doesn't have an image, does it?
Well, this is what ended up. The story that I heard is what happened is that there was like a phone number on that card, and so they called it, and it was like a landline. It was like an answer machine that read off like a cryptic message, and they had to decode it.
Okay, that's so nerdy though. Like that's such like.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. Like, why would that ever happen? Like, why would anyone want that? Like, to call like a number they didn't know to get a cryptic message.
Yeah, it was like a 412 number, which is Seattle or or Washington. So I don't know how much I know about the backstory, but what I've heard is it has been open in multiple places, and I mean it seems like someone said on Reddit too the artist confirmed it was his art. The RK post, he confirmed that it was his art. So it's got pretty. I think it's pretty much confirmed here. So
I think it looks like a commander card though. So everyone's saying it's a commander set, which would be kind of strange that they just made one.
Yeah, I don't think it's a commander. I think it's going to be like a multiplayer fun set. I don't think it's going to be legal in anything but...
Like Plane Chase, kind of?
Yeah, but I mean, it might actually be legacy playable. I'm not even sure. Like some of the things like that one, it's a voting type card, and so is the other one's like a weird draft card. But, I mean, you'd never see that in a competitive... That would just mess up competitive play.
Well, I mean, that's something that kind of annoys me is... When they do Plane Chase and stuff, it's not very appealing, I guess. Or what was the Arch Enemy? Plane Chase.
Well,
am I missing one?
There are people around here that love Plane Chase.
Really? So okay, wow. No one plays Plane Chase where I'm from. So.
Well, you might not know, though, because these guys are the kitchen table. That's working at a game store has really opened my eyes to different types of players. See, I was 100% competitive player. I didn't even know these people existed. And a lot of our sales come from people that just come in. The other day they were playing this little token game where they made up rules to tokens. You randomly draw a card off the pile and
well, I do like Horde, Horde. It's a different game. Look into it. And
Horde.
it's very
Oh.
casual.
I haven't heard of it.
It's kind of like Hydra. And then, like, I guess that Space Hydra is exactly the same now. It's the same principle, where you can have multiple players attacking, you know, a automatic deck.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had some players make up rules for another game too, where they make like scenarios that happen each turn. Like this guy gets kind of like a built-in assemblable legion was one of the players you had to beat, and then so you had to like create a deck that could actually
So it's
beat
like,
this guy.
yeah, like
Or
goat
they
fisting.
rolled a D20,
Goat
and
fist.
D20 did something different at the start of the turn and stuff like that. So I don't know. Like I said, the casual crowd's huge out there. I'm not a big fan of Commander just because of how casual it is and how just how a control freak where I want to know exactly. I want to be able to affect the game on my terms, not on like 6 different players' terms. So that's why I'm the biggest. I mean, my local game, and at my old game store, we'd be lucky to find 10 people there. And it was big time standard and drafts. So I guess it's just the area and is how Magic's played. So I mean, this could be a huge success. This whole little, the card wherever votes then, and each person's turn a great creature for play. If they vote no, then destroy all creatures, right?
Yeah, I like the voting mechanic. It looks kind of fun.
Yeah.
I do play EDH a lot, and that's kind of the only format I play right now. And I can tell you, like, the is time to do and it's not competitive.
So you don't play standard at all anymore, Tony.
Good black deck.
Oh, no, he is.
What's that?
Draft a lot. I draft a lot, and that's typically I only I'm cutting down Magic from like 2 to 4 times a week to just like 1 or 2 times a week, and I prefer to draft.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I used to only do was draft, but yeah, no,
But I also play like other card games, so you know it's kind of like
yeah,
I still play this Card Fight Vanguard game, but it looks like it's going to go down. Like it's losing participants like every day.
see, I've been ignoring Magic recently because I got this computer finally, thanks to all my lovely fans that, like you, Tony, that donated to the cause, and now it's fast enough to really run Dota, and so I've been playing a lot of Dota lately. So you need to quit that, and focus back on Magic. I get you. I get burned out of Magic. I've been spoiled.
Exactly. Like I feel like I need to play other card games. And that's why like on my YouTube channel, like it's so like sometimes you get sick of making the same Magic videos all the time. Like people just want to do box openings. They don't just want to do, you know, like finance, and like they complain about it, but at the same time, like don't tell anyone this, but we are gonna do Card Fight Vanguard just because my other account is still like I have no idea when it becomes unsuspended. Almost not suspended. It's not wrong term,
Yeah.
but like it gets the fraction goes away because I heard that it goes away after a bit, but it's like 8 months, I guess, and I know that when I post that Card Fight Vanguard video, so I'm sitting on like 100 promo packs, which are actually kind of valuable in Card Fight Vanguard. And I don't want to like not open them on camera because it seems like a waste of money. But I have no channel to upload it to. And I know if I'm going to upload it to my Magic channel, the feedback will be very, very negative. Because I've done it before in the past.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
And
you
like
can't-
it's just like
can't
all
please-
of you guys just want to play Magic and watch Magic videos all the time. Like, come on now, like, right?
Yeah.
You can always start a new channel, I guess. Like,
That's a lot of work.
Lion.
Yeah,
Trust me,
that's
it's
how
a
I'm
lot
at.
of work.
I always want to be like, I'm going to start this because I don't think fans will appreciate it. But I mean, you can get some fans from that side of the, people that are interested in card fight. I mean, I think it's just a good move to expand. Like with my channel, I want to expand into some other games eventually. But
Yeah, but would you expand with Rogue Deck Builder the channel, or would you make a new channel?
like you said, too much work. That's,
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if I put it on on this channel, people are gonna like give me some hate for it, right? Like I already know what's coming, but it's too much work to make a new channel.
It's your channel. It's not their channel. It's your channel. That's what it used to bug me when people didn't like my videos or blah, blah, blah. Now I just don't even care. I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this for other people. So.
Well, I think you have to. So having done this a second time, right? I realized the mistake I really made the first time was I used to take it like way too. I used to take the comments way too seriously, right? Where it's like, hey, I hate your content, and then I would like respond and react to them. And now like the second time around, I just don't even like respond, right?
Yep.
So I think that's definitely the way to go if you guys out there are thinking about making channels and stuff. I feel like there will be a ton more in the YouTube community, especially after 2016 for the movies.
Yeah, I mean it's growing already. Like we're some of the bigger channels right now, which is so sad because if you look at like League of Legends or
Yu-Gi-Oh! I always look at Yu-Gi-Oh! And even the crappiest channel will have 10,000 people subscribe.
yeah.
Like Amanda LaPalme, her Dragon Duelist, has like 50K subs, and she makes a video once a month, if that. And they were like, and she won't make a video for 6 months, and then she'll post one, and then like, I'll get like a bazillion views, and she's like, what? She's like, what? This person hasn't like really tried.
Yeah, I look at like the powerhouses like Channel Fireball and Star City. I think Star City's at 25,000, and Channel Fireball's only like 35,000.
But like in comparison, that's like the size of a regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel.
Yeah, or
like
Call of Duty, a kid that just like rambles on Call of Duty and isn't even that good of a. Like you said, terrible videos, and they have tons of subs and tons of views just on.
Not to talk bad about this one guy, but MCO40 is like I think HQ they're doing some type of like negotiation with him. Have you ever seen this MCO40? Like his videos are like really poor quality, and like if you look at his trade binders, it's him shaking a camera up and down, and it's like it makes me nauseous almost. It's like, dude, this guy has like 50K or 40K of subscribers. Like,
what?
How?
Is that a Magic channel?
No, that's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel. Okay, yeah, because I'm like, man, I don't. Besides loading, run, and ready, is there and if you consider Day 9 a Magic channel, is there and Wizards, is there anything like above 50,000?
I think Mr. Orange, right, from Star City.
He's below.
Yeah.
He's below 50,000.
Oh, he's below 50. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
He is?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought
he's like 45, I believe.
Oh,
I mean,
awesome.
and that's like the majority of subscribers. Like, majority of the community is probably, I would say, our entire YouTube community of Magic subscribers, not even channels, is probably less than 200,000, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Wizards itself only has 135, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So, like, if you were going to subscribe to a channel, you probably subscribe to Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
But I feel like in the next few, it's because Yu-Gi-Oh! And Card Fight Vanguard. So I used to make Card Fight Vanguard videos, like, in one day they would get like 6,000 views. Like, it was insane. And I just, because there's no like cartoon or there's no characters. I mean, they're making Planeswalkers characters, but no one actually knows what the story is. Like Dragon Maze is supposed to be a very like clever story about like people like racing in the maze. Like I don't think you can find anybody who actually knows what happened.
Yeah.
Right? The whole pre-release stuff was based on what's going to happen. Pick your guild to enter this race of some type, right? And there's a champion, and then like a guild leader, right? like, can you either of you two explain to me who won, or did somebody win? What was the prize, or what was the
Somebody
end of
must
the
have won.
game?
Wasn't it
I don't
like
know either.
Niv Mizzet who wanted something out of that
No,
thing?
Jace won, but I can't remember how.
Oh, he did.
But what did
Yeah.
he win? What was the prize? Or he must have won
Peace and
something, right?
harmony. I can't
That
remember
was the
what it
prize.
was.
I thought the prize was, hey, you become a planeswalker. One of you
I
10
think
guild
he
members.
won it. He won it so that all the other guilds so it restored the power balance between all. So a certain guild didn't win and destroyed the power. I don't even know. Like I said, I know very little what's going on in Theros just from the flavor text of the cards
Yeah,
and bits
okay.
and pieces.
Can we kind of try to guess what's going on in that set? Like,
Yeah,
so Xenagos is like a bad god, I guess, and he's a
yeah.
planeswalker and a god, and he's the main enemy, or is there like another main enemy?
No, I think he's the main enemy, but then there's like side stories of like Phenox and
And like,
Ash.
when's the Johnny? Johnny's got to be in the next set, right?
Yeah, Mark Rosenwater basically confirmed that as well through his little cryptic Twitter messages.
But like, okay,
So-
so like, how did they pick Elspeth and Johnny? Like, why those two?
Well,
Like,
apparently
Elspeth especially.
Elspeth might be from this plane originally.
Oh,
Like,
okay, that makes sense.
Elspeth's actually a god that became immortal.
Oh, that's actually very, very flavorful. Like,
But I can't the lore nerds. Like I said, I pick up bits and pieces on Reddit and bits and pieces from the game store. We've got some people that are really into the lore that want to come and talk to
but
me in their
like,
office.
even them, how much do they have? How much does the story make sense? You know,
Yeah.
like, I go back to the. So I actually read the New Phyrexia books, so I know what the story ended in. Venture gave his heart to Karn, and somehow he died. I don't exactly remember. So it was Karn, Koth. We're looking for Karn. So it's Koth, Venture, Malera, and Elspeth. And then Venture like gave his heart up to save Karn. And then like
And-
it just ended. It ended abruptly, and they're like, okay, now we're gonna battle the New Phyrexia. Yeah, let's do it. And then end of story. I was like, what? Like,
Yeah. And then like Koth like forced Elspeth to planeswalk.
yeah, but then it's like, how did Elspeth get back to this plane? Like, did she win against those New Phyrexia people, or like?
No,
did she,
no.
like,
Koth planeswalked her out, encased her in that like rock, and then made her planeswalk out before the Phyrexians killed her or something. That's what I picked
Well,
up.
what happened to what happened to Malera?
Yeah, I know.
Guardian.
We're having a car now that he's liberated.
Yeah, I know. Like what happened? Like,
Well, you get
Tearing up
They
the
gotta
buy the
body.
books.
tournament.
You gotta buy the books or,
no, I
or wait
don't
for the
those
movie.
were the books. I did buy the books. They were the books. That's
Wait,
how I
wait
know.
for the movie, man. It will
But
all be
here-
explained.
Why-
Uh,
Like
He
so
found
many of these
Urza's power.
backers, like Gideon, right? He like destroyed an entire plane.
Mm.
Like, but like what? Why is he? What's he up to like nowadays?
Just hanging out.
Like they created these planeswalkers where they can build logical stories, but instead they just it's almost like a time warp or something. There's like missing parts of it a lot. Like, okay, Elspeth's on this new plane. Well, no, what happened to the like how does he develop, right, as a planeswalker? Liliana the Veil. Like I don't think we're ever going to finish the demon story. Like how many
Yeah.
demons are left? Like 4? It took a whole set to finish off Griselbrand, and that was an entire set. So we're gonna have like 4 more sets dedicated to finishing off the other 4 guys.
apparently. Well, I mean, I guess that's one of the problems with Wizards while we're at it is, yeah, I think they could do a lot better job on just building a better, I guess, excitement for the lore. So,
Well, I mean, in the new one, this is the only tidbit of story that I heard was what's the green blue planeswalker called? Kiora?
yeah,
Yeah.
Kiora.
Yeah, I heard that she's from Zendikar, and she came to this plane to find help to fight the help me out here. Emrakul guys. What are they called?
Well,
Eldrazi?
apparently
Yeah,
they're going to
yeah, the
come back
Eldrazi.
eventually. They're gone for now. They were banished.
Mm.
But, yeah, well,
Well, if
the
she's
only
back now.
storyline I know about Kiora is she's got a hard-on for Krakens. That's why she
Well,
came
you
to
take-
Theros.
Take one of my most interesting planeswalkers, Cameo.
Mm.
Like, she's a planeswalker. She has a backstory, but she's like from what set is she from? Like Kamigawa? Yeah. And what is her point of being on this plane?
Because they had moons.
So she wanted to study the moon.
She's a
before
moon folk.
she wanted this moon of this plane, and she's just randomly here.
Yeah.
How does that make sense to anybody? Like imagine a movie where like a character just randomly appears, and you ask him, "Why are you here? Are you here to help, or you're here to destroy something, or no?
I
I'm
have
here
a
to study the
moon.
moon."
I want to look at it.
Yeah, and it's like, what? Is that your only backstory? Was like, and then you don't know anything else about the character, but people have fallen in love with Cameo. Like I would say, Cameo is a very popular character. Foil cameos, like you can't even get them from where I am because it's impossible to get them. And yeah, it's like I want to know more about Cameo because he seems like a pretty cool planeswalker, but there's no information out there.
Yeah,
You
there
got
should
me.
Definitely be more of a.
Yeah, I mean, Cameo is a perfect character. People have fallen in love. But all we know is she planeswalks from Kamigawa and she likes moons. That's all we know about her. Like it's like, well, hold on now. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if you compare it to something like Dungeons and Dragons, where they have all those books and stories, and you know the lore is much more involved into the game. The Wizards should really, if they do that for Dungeons and Dragons, why not more for Magic? You know?
It looks like it's going that direction. Like with this set, they did the battle against the Hydra, and now the battle against the, and they're starting to do those videos, but I think they should keep putting out more YouTube videos. They actually do some little short clips and whatnot to get people more immersed in the story. I think it's overall good for it. I mean, look at like World of Warcraft or StarCraft. Everyone's pretty familiar. At least I am. I played those games, and I'm very familiar with the storylines.
Yeah.
well, League of Legends has a very interesting storyline for each character. Each character has like their own backstory. As it's WoW, like Warcraft has it too.
Yep.
So, and it's not hard to develop it, right? Like you sit down for like a day, you write a story, and then you publish it on your main website, or you make a little YouTube video about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Well, they do the daily storyline stuff on the Wizards homepage, but again, it's so random and scattered. A lot of times, it's hard to really put it all together. So I mean,
Yeah,
I guess the
instead of-
information is out there, but it's like I'm not the type of person that would have went and searched for the whole lore to StarCraft. I mean, it's like you can't play the game without knowing the storyline.
I think that's what's really hurting like the at least in YouTubing. Like Yu-Gi-Oh has a storyline, it has an anime. Cardfight Vanguard has one too, and it's very obvious that hey, this is these are the main characters. These are their cards they use, and this is their journey to become a better Yu-Gi-Oh player, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in Magic, the characters are planeswalkers. They're not actual players, right? Like we're not characters in this, I feel like that was not particularly, especially with younger people, they want to see themselves as like, the main character, not as, like I don't even know, like, that's why Star Wars are so popular, because you could be like, hey, I could be Luke. I could be on this planet from, far, far away, and that could be me, right?
Exactly.
But like in Magic, it's like, well, where is the player's, place? Are we planeswalkers? Which they're kind of trying to make us planeswalkers, but it's obviously we're not because we're controlling planeswalkers. So the game field is not right. What are we in the Magic realm?
We're gods.
Yeah, exactly. Because we control. So.
But wait, we also
I don't know,
control
again,
gods.
Born of the
I don't
Gods-
know. I'm confused now.
This last set, Theros and Born of the Gods have kind of they're doing a better job. I think even with the pre-releases starting to get a lot better. But they're having these like Fight Against the Horde, Battle of the Hydra type side events now.
Well, I like that. I like the fact that you can just join a random game with other players. So they are doing a good job, but like they didn't do this like maybe Arc Enemy, but no one really wanted to be the Arc Enemy, So it's like, oh, I'm the bad guy. You guys come beat me up.
Yeah, and the dual decks are getting more interesting too.
There's definitely more value now from the dual decks. And the Jace and Vraska, I mean, can we see Remand maybe? Remand is a $15 uncommon right now. I would not be surprised if it's in that dual deck.
Yeah, it wasn't reprinted, so I'm thinking Serum Visions is gonna be. It's got to be in Journey to Nyx.
Or it could be in the dual deck. Like, there's so many more in the modern event deck. And that's why recently I don't really want to play this speculation game as heavy as I did before, so I sold quite a bit of my collection away. And it came down to the fact that, outside of counterfeits, which isn't that big of a deal for me, but reprints, like consistent reprints.
Yeah.
Like deck reprints, modern event deck reprints, Commander deck reprints, Modern Masters 2 reprint. Like, it's just such a headache for any speculator to deal with it, right? You're sitting on Karn Liberated, and then he shows up on the modern event deck as a, 2 of even, right? Then your $40 card is obviously not $40 because you can buy the whole 2 of them for $7 and get the rest of the deck. And
it's scary now on like Commander. Commander used to be a pretty safe little investment because they were slow moving, like going up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, all of a sudden, demand spikes. But then when they, like you said, when they print these massive sets.
When I used to trade for Commander cards, like I thought, like these are cards that are very similar to Legacy. They will always keep their price, right?
Yeah.
But like something like Fraxamunder, which I had in foil, after they reprinted in the Grixis deck, which has so much value in it already, it's even its foil price plummets, So
yeah,
Commander is definitely
one of the things I was.
place.
White of Precinct 6, I was stockpiling those like crazy. I'm like, oh, this is going to be. It's going to go under the radar. People are going to not use it in standard, but it's going to be a Commander player. And then they put it in a Commander deck, and it's still in print.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm like, what are you doing?
You know how many rares they print, right? It's like what, 30 rares times 5 decks, 150 rares that they have to randomly pick. So like,
and then
it's just not, it's just not advisable right now because they're just come on, reprint, dual deck, then modern event deck, then modern masters 2 probably, then the core sets themselves have a ton of reprints, right? Yeah. And it used to be core sets had the most terrible reprints. Now Mutavault, which is $45 card right now, Doxies, which used to be a $75 card, I mean, they're not afraid to reprint anything right now. And
some of those need reprints. So I think I think Thoughtseize is a good reprint.
But they definitely are going to need these, right? So you shouldn't be speccing on Festlands, even though they are like $50 a piece.
I think right now is the time to sell. Well, June is probably the time to sell Fetchlands. I don't know. I'm thinking it's got to happen in M15. They've got to reprint either the Onslaught Fetchlands or the Zed Fetchlands in M15, or otherwise Modern's going to be inaccessible to the average person. And I know there's a lot of snobs out there that are like, well, it should be anyway. And I think Modern, it should be one of those formats that should be very heavily played. We already have Legacy and Vintage for the, kind of the high roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so what I.
We're not accessible format. Yeah. Or otherwise, I'll have to bring back extended. That's the only other thing I can think of because I think that the more, I don't know casual competitive, I guess is what you'd call it. They need more than one format because standard can get stale.
I mean, one issue I have with these snobs is they have so much money tied up in magic cards, you know? Like I was talking to some of the people in my store, my friends in the store, and they have as much money as I used to have tied up in magic cards. And they have like student loans, they have card payments to make, they can barely make rent. And I asked them truthfully last night, hey, you know, I have like some disposable income, so like spending money on magic is okay for me. But like for you, you're just like a grad student or a college student, and I know you have like a ton of like loans and stuff, and you're working at, you know, a comic book store. How can you kind of justify like having a cube worth $10,000, completely pimped out on cube? And like they honestly, I asked like a few of them last night, and they are my good friends, so it's not like an offensive question to ask your friend. And none of them came out with like any type of answer. They just said, "Oh, I enjoy the game."
Yeah.
But if you have student loans and they're collecting at like 6 to 8% interest, you probably should pay those off first before you enjoy the game, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, how many Magic players do you think have like some type of mortgage loan, student loan, car loan, right? I would say the vast majority probably. Oh, I mean, most people do. Like 95% of like Americans, at least in America, we have some type of credit loan or that's just collecting interest. What is a better speculation, MasterCards or your student slash mortgage loans, which are consistent like 8 to 10%?
Yeah, and I mean, enjoying the game is not a justification because you can always play formats like Pauper where you don't have to invest a lot and still be able to enjoy the game.
Oh, you could just draft. Yeah, you can just draft.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. Like, like if you're a store and you're trying to make money, and that kind of makes sense. That makes a lot more sense to me. But you're an individual, and these individuals I know would never sell their collections. They would never sell, no matter what happens.
Isn't that a pet peeve of yours too? Like as a speculator too, and I used to be when I was a high volume trader too. Is I would go to trades and then people would have their not for trade binder. That would be the biggest pet peeve.
You'll have the not for trade binder, and they would show it to you, and you get all excited, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, why not for trade? Doesn't everything have a price? I'll sell my modern deck right now if people want to pay more than it's worth. My go-to Soul Sisters deck that I play all the time, I will sell it if they'll pay me more than it's worth. And yeah, it will take me a while to have to find those cards again, but everything is trade.
I know we had a talk about that, Kevin. I think that it would be interesting if you made a deck and then you sold the deck online. And it was a pre-made deck by like a rogue deck builder deck, right? And then you put it on. I think that would be that's like if I was a deck builder, that would be very attractive to me. Like, hey, I'll make this deck for you.
A fan in Brazil put together my From the Vaults Rogue deck builder and sold it at their store. I thought that was kind of cool. I guess I feel like
there's a market for that. And you sign the deck box or whatever, and then you sell it. Like that's what I would do. Like, you know, honestly.
Eventually.
But yeah, I'm definitely not going to spend.
So it's I don't know. It's pretty funny how I had a person recognize me in Fort Collins. That made my day.
Nice.
See, I've never met a subscriber yet who recognized who I was. And like before, the problem was I wasn't on camera very much, but now I'm on camera like almost every video, and they still have no idea who I am. Like there was a guy who's talking about counterfeit videos. Like he obviously watched my video, right? And he was just talking to me about it, and then he was like making stuff up to me about the video. He's like, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah." He's like, he works for Hasbro, da 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 da. I was like, "Oh, dude, seriously."
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, my store owner knows who my channel. I go to these two stores, so they know who my channel. They know like what my channel is, and actually, I have they gave me a T-shirt today, so I'm like, dude, I might wear this, but no promises, because I'm not getting anything from you. I mean, I might wear it just like to help the store out. I don't mind it, right? But yeah, I mean, it's so funny because Kevin, you say like you go to these events all over the country and people recognize who you are. And even Zemit does that. Like even Zemit would tell me, "Hey, went to all these places and they know who I am." But I've never met a single subscriber ever. Like not once. Not even on the new law student. Not even once. So I don't know. I don't know why that is.
I ran into Lou Fubu in Vegas, and I
Yeah,
was
no,
talking
told me about that.
before
Yeah,
I
and then
recognized him.
Milo
Wait a
was in
second.
Vegas too. You meet Milo too?
Yeah, because then Lufu introduced me to Milo. But it's funny because I was randomly asking these people how long they waited in line because I kind of wanted to just be a dick. Because like I came in the back door through staff because I was with Gathering Magic
Oh.
and like butted in line. So I was first in line for the for the playmat, and there was I guess this like couple hour long line. And
I,
so I
think
was
I
like,
saw,
how long
I
you guys
saw
been
pictures
waiting
of the
in line?
line, yeah.
And Lufubu made some comment like, wait a second, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, you're Obdeck. I'm like, hey, cool, and that's where and then a fan recognized both of us, and so we that was my first I signed my first playmat with him. That was kind of cool, but.
I've
How's
never
it?
signed a playmat or any card or outside of like trading, I guess, and I don't even want to like to do those.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I don't know. I think because you're a deck builder, so you might run into deck builders, right? I'm a speculator financier, at least I should be. So like the people like who I guess are fans of mine are just at home clicking like TCG player and buying out cards, right? They probably don't play at events. They probably believe like playing at an event is like very bad because they lose value or something.
Yeah. I reference one of your videos all the time.
Which
You
one?
should redo it. The how playing an F&M is cheaper than going to a movie.
Oh yeah, I have to redo that one. Yeah. So
I reference that all the time when people are like, "I'm not paying $14 or $12 for a draft." I'm like, "You went and saw that new Hobbit movie, didn't you?" I'm like, "You spent way more there than you spent, and
well,
that's
it's
gone."
Also, it's also bowling, and in Houston we have
Yeah.
Top Golf, and we have ranges that you can shoot a gun. Even if you own a gun and you want to shoot it, it still costs like $15 an hour to shoot it, like for the range. And same with bowling. Like a game of bowling, depending on how many friends you're with, could take like half an hour, right? And that's like bowling shoes, and then like because you're going to eat stuff too. And it just seems to me that Magic, by its definition, has to be kind of a affordable hobby because the crowd that plays Magic is largely high school kids, college students, at least most of the casual players. So they have to be able to afford Magic, or they won't be able to play it. So I feel like Magic is very affordable.
Yeah, I do too. That's when you put it in perspective of that way, then you get that's how we've got a lot of people actually buying into the pre-release was just saying, all right, well, didn't you just spend $16 to take a date to Desolation of Smog? Oh yeah, well.
Well, no, but it's also the time. You go to pre-release. I was there from 12 till 9 in the morning, or 8 in the morning, or 7 in the morning, something like ridiculous. But I wasn't actually there at 12. I was there at like 9 o'clock, right? Like, let's say 9 to 7. Like, that is a long time to be at a facility, right? With lighting and, with people, right? There's like 9 hours. A pre-release is $30. So, like, how much are you actually paying for, like, less than $4 an hour? Like, what else could you do for an hour and have that much fun and pay less than $4 for it?
Yeah, and have a chance to actually break even, or actually like when I
get value too. You get some kind of value.
I went quote unquote infinite on Paper Magic by, I never ever took price support. I always took store credit. The local game store that I played at gave $4 per pack into store credit. So if I won an F&M, it'd be like usually 8 packs, so I get $32 in store credit. That's 7 more F&Ms I can play for free, type thing. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely I mean, in comparison to going to movies, bowling, fishing, or any type of other activity that you would be doing, and that doesn't even include like drinking. Like when I go drinking, it's like bloody, like it's a bloody mess. Like it's which reminds me, I need to say goodbye to you guys because I'm going drinking right now.
Oh, we're
I'm
about to wrap it up anyways.
actually, Kevin, I do want to apologize for the thing we talked about Facebook, right? Because like honestly, I want to just tell you like right now, like it's live, so it's kind of inappropriate, but dude, like I'm only like that's my bad, but like I'm actually going drinking with HQ tonight.
Okay.
So, I won't bring up any of that more of that stuff, but he is actually like he's willing to talk. I don't know. Like it's awkward. I don't really want to bring it up anymore, but I just wanted to make it aware that like I'm a big fan of yours, Kevin. So anything I do is not, maybe it's a mistake, but I'm not out there to get you, right?
Gotcha. Well, I didn't think anything of it after I said it's the other individual that to me comes off as a very shady person. So
Right.
you might know him better than I do. But that's
Right.
my impression.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it would be because like, okay, I'll talk to you later about it. Okay.
Okay.
On like live stream, right? I don't think he'll watch this, so it's probably plus like it's like an hour into it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If anyone's still with us, they deserve something.
Yeah.
You get
yeah,
a signed island if you comment that you heard this. I will send it to you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I enjoyed this podcast, and if you guys want to have me on another time, just give me a little bit heads up, and definitely enjoy hanging out with you guys.
Yeah,
but I
definitely.
probably gotta go right now. So I just
Alrighty.
around like
Seems like
9.
a good time as any to wrap it up. So
Yeah. So if you guys want to wrap it up, I'll stay for like a few.
yeah. I mean, we've been going for an hour, so and with my upload speed, it means like it will be uploaded in like a week. So I'll use my neighbor's internet. He will never know. So yeah, so thanks a lot, you guys, for doing this podcast. Kevin, and it was a lot of fun like last time, and Tony, thanks for showing up this time. And well, I have a blast talking to you guys, so I really hope we can do this again in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so see you guys in a couple of weeks, I guess.
Alrighty.
Bye, guys.
Bye.